May I come in, sir?
Come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Have
Good
your
afternoon.
seat, Yashwant.
Thank you, sir.
Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yashwant, we are taking the precautions for COVID, so your chair has been kept at a safe distance. You may remove, if you wish to, your mask, as it is 10 to 12 feet away.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Yashwant Kumar Reddy. I am from Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. I have completed my graduation from JNTU Kakinada in Computer Science and Engineering with a gold medal from the university. After graduation, I have joined Indian Oil and worked there for 2 years as Information Systems Officer. During that time, I have wrote Group 1 examination of APPSC and got state 3rd rank and was allotted to the Commercial Taxes Department. As of now, I am working as Assistant Commissioner of State Taxes at Kurnool itself.
I was looking at your DAF. You are earning more than 1 lakh rupees salary from IOC, and now you are earning much less than that. Do you think this is a rational decision to get demoted oneself?
Sir, definitely, though there was less salary, I have looked at the other aspects, sir. Because in my limited experience that I had in IOCL, after a point of income, the additional income we get adds very little value to our life. That is what I have experienced. So I thought of considering other factors like my interest, the kind of diversity the job provides. So because of that, I have chosen the public services, sir.
As an assistant commissioner of state tax, you are best positioned to explain why the state tax on petroleum product is so high.
So it is true that, for example, in Andhra Pradesh, the total GST revenue itself is around 19,000 crores and the VAT on petrol itself is around 18,000 crores. The tax rate is around 30 to 35%. It is because of few reasons like after introduction of GST, the autonomy and the flexibility state has to increase or decrease tax to meet their revenue obligations is very limited. They have only limited revenue resources like liquor and petrol. So because of that, they are continuously increasing the tax rates.
But why they are increasing it so high? It is making the entire economy high cost economy. Cost of transportation is high, so that is giving birth to general inflation. Cost of farmer for their cultivation cost is also high. It's inflationary to keep the taxes so high.
Definitely, it causes a significant burden on normal people and also industries also, sir, to have these taxes at higher level. So recently in the 43rd GST Council, a decision was made that a group of ministers will be appointed to look into the issue of bringing petroleum into GST. That can be done by successive measures like increasing the tax base and focusing on reducing the tax evasion so that we can build up the revenue gap that will be possible.
Okay. Do you think the state government, that is not the state government only, that is the central government as well as state, are indulging excessively in welfare measures which are not that is not meritorious? There are many expenditures, welfare expenditures which are not deserving expenditures.
Sir, we ourselves state in constitution that India is a welfare state. Then definitely the welfare of people is also the primary responsibility of the government, sir. Having said that, we need to make sure that the benefits are going to the real beneficiaries so that the wastages are being reduced. For example, recently, yesterday itself, e-RuPay was launched. So with that, person-based and specific purpose-based devolution of funds will be possible till the local level. So with technological advances, etc., we can make sure that the welfare expenditure is being streamlined so that we can get the perfect results.
Apart from the leakages and irregularities, there is a question on basic policy. Should we pamper the citizens with excessive amount of facilities and concessions?
So in my limited understanding, excessive concession should not be there, but a kind of concession should be there so that people can live a proper standard of life, and further the kind of welfare expenditure, it spurs the rural economy especially because it increases the consumption and further reduces the pressure on urban areas also. Sir.
But if let's say we give people reward without without seeking work from them, people would gradually become lazy and their work preference would weaken, which will be in the long run counterproductive for the individuals themselves as well as the whole nation.
So definitely it should not be perpetual, the welfare aspects, and further each welfare scheme should be tied with specific objectives that need to be achieved. For example, skill development or improving the infrastructure, etc. For example, there are welfare schemes in Andhra Pradesh, sir. If you permit, I will explain a bit further in this.
Yeah, please explain
There
further.
is a scheme called YSR Cheyuta where loans are given to women. In that, there is a specific facility of improving the livelihood facilities by MOUs with MNCs like Parley, PN, Procter and Gamble, Reliance, etc. So that the kind of livelihood opportunities for women improves.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
you did your BTech from Kakinada, right? The Kakinada port and the Kakinada Bay is what actually famous because of one of the islands. We call it Hope Island. So, what is hopelessness condition in Hope Island? What is the hopelessness condition of Hope Island? Yes, please.
Sir, Hope Island is the specific advantage that Kakinada has got, because of which it is protected from cyclones, etc. But recently we have seen that the mangrove forest, which is there in the Hope Island, that is being reduced.
Yes, attached with this, look, Kodinga Bay and Kodinga Wildlife
Kodinga.
Sanctuary is there. My question is what? Look, how Kodinga Bay is emerging as a area of chemical pollution, and several species of fishes are missing. So, how chemical pollution responsible for extinction of several fishes, particularly the what actually arthropodas, right? That is what several arthropodas also missing. What is the reason behind chemical pollution in Kodinga Bay?
Sir, Kodinga Wildlife Sanctuary is the second largest mangrove reserve of India. The specific reason for this chemical pollution is the food processing industry, especially the fisheries
point.
sector.
Got point. Come to Visakhapatnam district and come to Uti of Andhra Pradesh. Look, you are a student of anthropology, right? So, Uti area, Nilgiri area, having 4 important tribal community, as you know, Jarwas, Toda, Irula, Kurumba, Pulian. And in Araku Valley, that is the Uti of actually Andhra Pradesh, maximum height is what 1500 meters, right? There is what a tribe we call what Kondus tribe, right? There is tribal movement going on, right? Local Samreddy is what leading that particular tribal movement. My question is, what a specific problem of Kondus tribe in Araku Valley?
Sir, Kunduz tribe is a PVTG tribe of Andhra Pradesh.
Yes,
The particular problem that Kunduz are facing is the bauxite mining issue in Vizag Hills.
The most important problem identified the what surveyor recognized by Andhra Pradesh government, and that is anemia,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
And that anemia is related to sickle cell. We call it what? Sickle cell. How sickle cell? Because you have to read this particular thing. How sickle cell is responsible for anemia in Kondus tribe in what Araku Valley.
Sir, the HBS gene that is responsible for sickle cell
Yes.
gives resistance, immunity from malaria disease, sir. But it also results in a kind of situation where the kind of amount of blood in body that gets reduced.
What is the specific program started by Andhra Pradesh government to do rehabilitation of Araku Valley tribes?
Sir, in the recent last 2 years, there is a program called Jagananna Poshana Plus.
Yes, but this is not going to solve the real problem. The real problem is the violation of what? The tribal actually act, a tribal act, particularly transfer of land. And you know all, the tribe of that particular locality facing the what? Transfer, illegal, we call it land alienation. Illegal transfer of tribal land to non-tribal land. So, what is the latest step taken by Andhra Pradesh government in, I think, in one last year? What is the actually step taken by Andhra Pradesh government to stop transfer of actually tribal land to non-tribal people? Yes, please.
Sir, during 1970s itself, a legislation was enacted banning the transfer of land from tribals to non-tribals. Recently, using the technological measures like the drones and GIS, they have made sure that this is being implemented at ground levels.
Look, in Anantapur district, very close to your home district, Kurnool, we have Chenchu tribe. how the anthropological profile of Chenchu tribe is what actually different from anthropological profile of the Kondu tribe of what Araku Valley.
Sir, pardon me, sir. Chenchu is a tribe of Kurnool district, sir.
No, this is also in Anandapur district. The whole area is what?
Nagarjuna Saigar Tiger Reserve, it comes under.
The whole area is what actually inhabited by Chenchu tribe. Somehow they have migrated from Nilgiri Hills. Okay, you continue.
Sir, the Chenchu tribes are a hunter-gatherer tribe of Kurnool and other Rayalaseema areas. The population is around 75,000 and the literacy rate is
How
also.
this is similarity? How this similarity? Similarity in anthropological provides of two different tribes I am taking.
Yes, sir, definitely.
What is the racial element? What is
Yes,
the
yes.
linguistic element? Yes, please.
Both are PVTG tribes. Further, the racial element, Chenchu tribes belongs to the Veddoid race, similar to the Sri Lanka community, Sri Lankan tribes.
How you can? This is not actually race. This is called subcategory of
Yes, sir,
race.
subcategory
You are a
of
student
race.
of anthropology. You're actually giving heading of race. So this is not new race. This is subcategory. What the broad category of race and actually Chenchu belongs, and what do Kondus belong? Name the what race.
Sir, as far as I can remember, Chenchus belong to Mediterranean,
Good.
but Kundus I am unable to remember, sir.
Proto-Australite.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Yashwant,
Sir.
you like watching web series on professional fiction.
Yes.
What is professional fiction?
So it is a particular genre of fiction where the main focus is on the professional lives of the actors involved. They
Is
showcase.
it a standard terminology or like has it been coined by you only?
Sir, as such, there is no specific term, sir, but I thought that the term would represent my interest in a better way. Because of that, I quoted that.
So how do we differentiate professional from non-professional fiction?
Sir, in professional, the main focus is on the professional life, as I said. It deals with the kind of procedures involved, the kind of work-life challenges they will be having.
So
How they overcome.
any example of web series which falls into this criteria?
Sir, Grey's Anatomy regarding medical interns, Suits regarding corporate lawyers.
Right. And any Indian web series that you have watched?
Yes, sir. Recently, I have watched Family Man 2 regarding NIA.
Okay. There is also controversy associated with this web series that they are pushing up some ideas which may not be very good for social harmony and also for their influence on basically youngsters, right? What is your opinion? Do we need any kind of censorship?
It is true that with web series, the kind of diversified content we are getting has increased, and we are able to access content made in all over the world, especially. Because of that, there is a chance of content like child pornography, terroristic content, and also where communal sentiments are incited.
So
That is also
how to
common.
regulate it? Like, is there any mechanism?
So definitely self-regulation should be there, sir, at the first level. Government should give strict guidelines,
But government
clear
has come
guidelines.
out with some regulations, I suppose.
It is a 3 hierarchy level regulation. The first step at the level of self-regulation. After that, a body of these web series companies. After that, government organized regulations.
Okay. You were also talking about Sri Lanka. So recently, India and Sri Lanka have had some issue about the East Container Terminal. What is that?
Sir, as far as I can remember, in Colombo, for building a container, India was given the project earlier. But
Only India or like it was in
one more
partnership?
country, sir, along with one more country, India was given the
Which
project.
country? Japan.
Yes, sir, Japan.
Okay. So what happened?
But India was unable to go up with the pace that was expected by the Sri Lankan government. Because of that, there were few issues. Sir.
Are you sure that was the reason?
Pardon me, sir, I'll look into it.
Okay. So when India says that the Sri Lankan government should think about its or provide equal rights to its Tamil minorities, can we say that India is interfering in the internal affairs of Sri Lanka? No country wants other country to tell it what to do. So when we say it to Sri Lanka, does it amount to interference?
So definitely it is a tough situation where the Tamilians in Sri Lanka, they have cultural affinity and the kind of historical relations with people in India. And on the other hand, we need to balance with the view that that is an internal issue of Sri Lanka. So rather than directly confronting, we need to go in an amicable approach so that we can take the government of Sri Lanka along with us so that we can invest in
my
development.
question is very simple. Does it amount to interference or not from a Sri Lankan perspective?
So strictly speaking from the perspective of a Sri Lankan, it amounts to interference, sir.
Right. So India should do it or not?
Sir, India has the responsibility of ensuring the human rights of people especially the population who are culturally related to Indian population. So definitely India should take strict measures, sir. As such, if not in a confrontational mode, in other methods.
My final question to you, recently there has been a documentary which was made, and in that documentary they have used a voice of a person who is no longer living. Okay, so through some artificial intelligence they have been able to do that. Okay, that person's voice has been used, reconstructed. Now what are the ethical challenges in this, or is it fine? You are a computer engineer as well.
Yes, sir. So definitely the person whose voice has used, he would not be able to give his consent, and even his family members might feel offended with that action.
So this kind of thing should not be done.
So I think as far as possible, we should avoid these kind of situations because it kind of amounts to interference in their own privacy, because the family members should have some kind of respect towards them.
Are you aware like whose voice was done, like recreated?
Actually, I have come across this article, sir, but I am unable to remember the exact name, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yashwant,
Sir.
Yashwant, recently two sites from UNESCO has been recognized in India. What are they?
Sir, one is Ramappa temple in Warangal. After that, Dholavira site of...
What are the basis on which UNESCO recognized some sites?
Sir, overall it should have a international significance, the particular site. Apart from that, there are 10 specific items that UNESCO looks into, like the kind of cultural significance, the kind of ecological significance, architectural importance, etc.
Okay. And what are the benefit when UNESCO recognizes some sites?
Sir, we would be able to get the help of technological and management expertise that UNESCO has, and further other partners in UNESCO has. Further, we can also have access to the funding so that we can develop them further.
Why Dholavira has been recognized? What are some special feature of Dholavira for which it has been listed in UNESCO?
So it is a Indian Valley civilization site in which the speciality is the kind of specific drainage network and also the kind of construction practices where stones are used instead of bricks, which is majorly used in Indian Valley civilization.
And what is the reason for the temple in Telangana?
Sir, the temple in Telangana, specifically the kind of technology and also the diversity of materials that were used. That is the reason. The stones that are used to build the Gopuram, they can even flow on water. They are that light.
Is there any UNESCO sites in India which is both cultural and ecological?
Sir, I have read about it, sir. I am unable to remember.
Is it
Pardon.
Kanchenjunga?
Pardon me, sir.
Okay, you come from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
Andhra Pradesh is one of the most disaster-prone areas of India, and one of the disaster it has to face is cyclone. Right? What is cyclone? How do you define that?
So cyclone is waves coming from the ocean at high intensity and high altitude that comes into the mainland.
Is the cyclone? Then what is tsunami?
Pardon. Tsunami is the result of energy generated because of actions in ocean like earthquake, volcanism, etc. Because of that, the energy will be transformed into waves.
Okay, then what is cyclone?
Pardon me. So it is created because of pressure differences.
Pressure difference?
The formation of lower pressure, and from that the cyclone created.
Recently, Andhra Pradesh was hit by which cyclone?
Yes. Pardon me, sir.
What was the name of cyclone?
Hudhud cyclone. After that, Fani cyclones.
Then after? Recently?
I need to look into.
Okay, you are a computer engineer as well, right?
Sir.
How computer science or computer engineering is going to be helpful in the management of disaster?
So definitely in all the stages of disaster management, like preparedness and also monitoring the disaster and also rehabilitation, computer science is very useful. For example, Andhra Pradesh has a specific scheme.
Give me some special technology, because simply putting a computer in the front of office is not going to be helpful.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what are the technologies that can be useful, that can be used in such kind of activities?
So supercomputers and artificial intelligence is used in predicting the disasters.
Right.
And further, drone mapping and artificial intelligence together and image processing, they are used to identify the kind of damage that was created by disaster so that rehabilitation can be made. And further, during the disaster process also, technologies like instant messages based on the specific area of disaster, they are delivering messages to the mobiles itself.
Can you give any feasible and practical example that has been used by the management team of artificial intelligence?
As such, Seaflow software is there, sir, for Chennai city to mitigate the urban flood.
what they did?
I mean, they have took the data from various locations of city, and they are monitoring the flood levels so that they can alert the authorities at early time. for
Okay,
floods.
Yashwant.
Thank you.
Yashwant, you were talking about loans to women.
Yes.
Can you name a few SHGs in Andhra Pradesh for me? Some famous ones? Do you know about them?
As such, in Andhra Pradesh, there is a specific scheme called MEPMA and SERP. They act as the institutional mechanisms. Under them, SHGs are created at the village level with membership of 15 to 20 people.
Okay. Who gave this concept of SHGs?
Ma'am, an economist from Bangladesh, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me, how does SHG concept address the problem of asymmetry of information?
Ma'am, in SHG, the members who are involved, they come together at specific intervals, monthly or quarterly intervals, to discuss about the employment and other livelihood opportunities. Apart from that, they also discuss about other issues, like the kind of information they are having, the new
Do
technologies.
you know what is asymmetry of information?
Ma'am, it is a specific group of people having access to the information, whereas others are not having that.
Why banking sector suffers from this problem of asymmetry of information?
Ma'am, it is because in India, the kind of organized banking and also the usage of banking is very limited. Many people use
It's
cash
okay.
based.
It's okay. Thank you. Let me ask you another question. You have worked in big data.
Yes.
What is bigger data? It was in news recently.
Ma'am, I haven't heard about it, but if you permit, I will take a guess, inform.
Sure.
Yes. Ma'am, as such, bigger data is a kind of data that is quantified by huge volumes, velocity of generation, veracity, and also variability that cannot be even processed with the kind of infrastructure we
Tell
have
me
created
other
for big
two V's
data.
also of big data. You have told me 3 V's.
Yes.
Tell me 2 more. 5 V's are there?
Yes, ma'am. Volume, velocity, variety, veracity, value.
Tell me why Hadoop is used in big data.
Ma'am, Hadoop is a kind of application that is used for big data processing. It has a MapReduce algorithm using which we divide the big problem into multiple small problems, analyze them individually. After that, we accumulate the results.
Okay, Yashwant, you are an engineer and that too a gold medalist. Tell me, why do we see less number of women in STEM?
And as such, at the entry levels, the number of women is almost equal to the men. But going above the ladder, the number of women in STEM field is becoming less. It is because of multiple reasons like dual responsibility of handling domestic responsibilities and also doing the job at workplace, and further lack of support from family, and also lack of supportive environment at workplaces in few places.
So, are you trying to tell me that most men in India are patriarchal? Is that what you're trying to say?
As such, I cannot pass such generalistic statement, ma'am, but there are few instances that patriarchy is there.
Are you a patriarch? Do you have patriarchal mindset? What do you think?
Ma'am, as such, I don't have patriarch mindset, ma'am.
Okay, can you give me one instance from your life supporting this statement that you do not have patriarchal mindset?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I work as the head of the circle level office, and I have 2 deputy commercial tax officers under me, 1 male and 1 female officer. Earlier, what they used to do is, if we have any enforcement activities, like checking vehicular traffic duty at midnight, then we used to go with the default men option, default men. But I made sure that the options are divided equally between both the officers. So I even used to take the female officers also for enforcement activities.
Okay, you have interest in web series as you discussed with sir also.
Yes.
And you mentioned Suits.
Yes.
Tell me, which is your favorite character from that web series and why?
Ma'am, I think it is Harvey Specter that is the favorite character, because he is a kind of person who is confident about himself, but he is not arrogant. And further, he cares about people immensely. And the kind of clarity he has in life, particularly one statement that he makes, ma'am, that improve your argument, not raise your voice. So I think it has a profound impact on my life.
Okay, thank you, Yashwant.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yashwant,
Sir.
Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by 2 brothers.
Yes, sir.
Of course, you know the names.
Sir, pardon me, sir. They are from Nayaka dynasty, but I am unable to remember the exact names.
Okay, one was Harihar and
Yes,
another was
Buggara, yeah.
Bukka.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't they establish their kingdom in Andhra Pradesh and move to Karnataka? They belong to Andhra Pradesh, Warangal area.
Sir, I am unaware of the specific reason, sir, but if you permit, I will take a guess, sir.
Hmm.
In Andhra, there were Jamindars settled from long ago, sir. And further, there were Paligars also in that Jamindars, and they were very strong with kind of military. So it might have been difficult for them to establish their own rule. Because of that, they would have moved to Mysore area, sir.
Okay, this case is not very close to reality.
Okay.
There were threats from Delhi,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mohammed bin Tughlaq.
Thank you.
Okay, what are the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission? 2-3 points you can elaborate.
So the amount of devolutions from center to state, they were reduced to 41%. And in the new scheme, few aspects like the efforts for taxation, it was given 2.5%. Further, the total fertility rate, that was also given around 10% in that scheme. Further, there is a specific recommendation that devolutions from central level will need to be ensured till the ground level, the local bodies, and also 5th and 6th schedule specifically. And apart from that, there is a disaster management fund at both the center and state levels.
Government is planning to restructure the constituency, parliamentary constituency, on the basis of new census data. Don't you think it will be unjust for those states which have contained population? It will be undue reward to those who have been lax about it.
So it is true that the states who have reduced their population significantly, for them the number of representatives in parliament, they also get reduced. But in a democracy, the main purpose is that an MP should represent the people, and it will be an equal democracy when an MP represents equal number of people as far as possible. And further, more number of MPs from less developed areas where the population is more can steer the policies in such a way that their areas also can better develop in a quicker manner, so that in the long run, in 20 to 30 years, we can have an equitable environment again. And further, in the next iterations, again, even the states that are becoming not benefited now, they will get benefit in the futures.
India was the first country to launch population policy, a kind of national family planning program. And still our population is not stabilizing. Do you think this is high time we should start taking some punitive measures? Because you know that administration works not only on carrot principle but also some stick policy is there.
Sir, in my limited understanding, I think that the punitive measures will have unintended consequences like increased female feticide, divorces to participate in elections, etc. So as we have seen from the experience of few states in the southern part of India, like they have focused especially on women empowerment, like SHG schemes, improving the education, improving the age of marriage, so that women have better autonomy over their decisions, and further the kind of economic growth, so that more number of children doesn't mean increased income to the family. If you create such a situation, then definitely the population will come down, sir.
But 15th Finance Commission allocates fund on the basis of population also.
Yes, sir.
And some states have been found to be implicitly inducing population so as to get more fund from the center. Do you think this kind of indiscipline, anarchical behavior should be punished, or should we let it go?
Sir, as such, the percentage to population is 15%, and the allocation to total fertility rate, that is 12.5%. So, sir, in my limited opinion, I think that doesn't make a big difference in the kind of amount they will be getting from the center, if they even focus on the population now, sir.
Okay, nice talking to you, Yashwant.
Thank you, sir.
Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Have your seat, Yashwant.
Thank you, sir.
Have you come for the first time for UPSC interview?
Yes,
it is
sir,
first
UPSC
attempt.
first time.
Okay. And overall, this is which attempt?
Second attempt, sir.
Okay, second attempt, UPSC. So how do you rate your performance? Where are the points which you think you need to little work further?
So in few information aspects, I need to work upon.
Okay. And overall?
Overall, I felt a bit good, sir, because I have.
Yeah, of course. We have discussed your performance. You are really good on almost all the parameters. Your entry is good. Your sitting position is good. Your best thing is that your response is good. You are mentally very alert person, and you've got good range of knowledge and understanding, and your analytical capabilities are good. You have more or less balanced judgment, sense of judgment is balanced. Most of the things are good. But because your interview is on 20th of August and we could detect 2-3 points where you can work further. One is that you may moderate your voice level slightly. The pitch of voice is on the higher side. Watch the video, listen to it once or twice. Another thing is that sometimes your speed of delivery is also fast.
Okay.
So if you can take some pauses in between, your communication look more effective and
Okay.
more pleasant. So that may add value to your entire personality assessment. And on content part, of course, you have detected that your understanding about geography, particularly the information part, is not updated because you are administrator working there in Andhra Pradesh. So that is a little surprising. You should have known it. And if you can arrange some time to explore the classical phases of history of Andhra Pradesh,
Sure.
particularly the Pallava dynasty and Vijayanagar, these two, apart from Kakatiyas and Vengis, there are several Chalukyas are there, but some kind of history, even from the website of the district, you can read. Because complete ignorance is not
Okay.
acceptable. So this information you may update, but rest of the things, knowledge, your understanding about the work you are doing and other things are very impressive, very good. So we are overall very happy and impressed by your performance, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
So especially that, I mean, the eye contact, sir.
Eye contact is good.
So I have one more question specific to madam, sir. Information asymmetry, I have answered in a general sense.
No, that is not what
Okay.
asymmetry of information is.
I will read it.
Basically, it is in banking insurance sector.
Sure.
That bank doesn't know whether the person they are giving
Credit
loan
worthy
to
or not, yeah.
exactly
Sure.
are credit worthy or not.
Thank you.
So it is about that.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.